You have spent decades building a reputation for being evidence-based, for being nonpartisan. The FBI is an organization that is supposed to be evidence-based and nonpartisan. Do you worry that by painting this stark portrait of President Trump and suggesting that the American people should vote for something other than the lack of values that he represents in your construct, that you are sullying both the brand of Comey and the brand of the FBI?
Yeah, I don't think so, and I certainly hope not, because I'm not criticizing President Trump because he's a Republican or because he has a certain view on taxes or immigration or anything else. I'm criticizing him on the grounds of values, which is at the center of the FBI, and something that should be at the center of all of our evaluations of our leaders. So I get that it's relevant to politics, but I see it as something actually more important than partisan politics.
A few years later.
Investigation has just been launched into the former FBI director, James Comey, for posting a threat to the life of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Comey, not a fan of Trump, posted a picture of shells on a beach that say 8647. The caption, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Why the numbers 86 and 47? The number 86 is common military code to take out someone or something. And Trump is the 47th president. When people caught on, Comey tried to cover it up. He deleted the post and replaced it with this. Quote, "I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down." A political message? I don't think so. He's the former FBI director. He had the codes. He knows what it means. Trump's already faced 2 assassination attempts. Comey should know better, and let's be honest, he probably does. The White House says it's taking the threat seriously, and it's all hands on deck. The FBI, DHS, and the Secret Service are now investigating the threat and will respond appropriately. He deserves to be interrogated. Did he really just stumble upon this thing during a beach walk? How do we know he wasn't the one who lined up the shells? He's been caught in so many lies already, we can't believe anything he's...
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about Trump deranged former FBI director James Comey, who at this point, especially after this story, is either the most Trump deranged former FBI director in American history, or he is the dumbest former FBI director in American history. Probably both, to be honest with you, because this guy is panicking over the fact that he is currently facing investigation from the Secret Service, the FBI, the DOJ, and other law enforcement agencies over what appears to be a threat towards the President of the United States, right? A threat to take out the President of the United States. And I want to talk about it, okay? Because, again, this guy is either extremely Trump deranged or he's extremely dumb. Probably both, right? And that is what leads you to do stuff like this without apparently knowing that what this dude put out there could easily be interpreted as a threat of violence against the president. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this clip from Fox News covering this story.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. As always, thank you for joining us. This is a Fox News alert. Disgraced FBI Director James Comey making a threatening post against Donald Trump tonight as the president is overseas. Fox's Peter Ducey is live from Abu Dhabi with all the details. My goodness, Peter.
And Laura, the real head scratcher about this very serious topic is that James Comey wants us to believe, and we have this photo here, that he saw a cool, these are his words, cool shell formation on my beach walk. And the cool shell formation, according to the person who used to be in charge of the FBI, shows shells in the shape of 8647. 86 is common restaurant lingo, of course, for denying service to somebody. But after about 30 seconds of Googling, you can see that a good chunk of people all around the world also associate 86 with meaning to kill somebody. An old mob saying, basically, you take somebody 8 miles outside of town and then you put them 6 feet in the ground. James Comey, again, a guy who has prosecuted mobsters, apparently had no idea that this was a thing. He deleted the original post with the cool shell formation, and he writes, "I posted a picture earlier of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, and I took the post down.
Yeah, so again, this is what makes me skeptical, right? Because if he just thought that it was a cool shell formation, which, by the way, I mean, like, clearly somebody put that there on purpose. Either he did that or somebody else did it. But let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and to say that, well, somebody else did it, right? He's admitting that, well, I knew it was a political message, right? So you knew it was a political message. Now, this dude wasn't smart enough to maybe, I don't know, look up some of these numbers, right, before actually posting this, right? If he didn't know what 86 means, which, again, by the way, former director of the FBI, right, doesn't know that the 86 is like mob lingo for killing somebody, right? Calling to take somebody out. He doesn't know that, which, again, is fascinating, right? Very fascinating. But if you assumed it was a political message, why didn't you check to see what the political message might mean before posting it on your Instagram, especially as an FBI director, a former FBI director? So you knew it was political. You knew it had something to do with Trump, but you weren't intelligent enough to actually, I don't know, do some research. I don't know, ask ChatGPT or something, okay? What could this possibly mean? Apparently not. Apparently not. And he posted it on his Instagram. And now he's taking it down because he's getting backlash. So to me, I'm skeptical, right? I personally believe that this dude probably put it out there as a subliminal message, right? Because he is Trump deranged, okay? And he didn't think he'd get this much backlash for it, right? And then he's getting backlash. He's taking it down. Now, who knows? Did he actually, make that formation? Did he do it? I don't know if he did it. All I know is that he took a picture of it. Regardless, again, I just think that this is just not a very smart thing, right? He's not a very smart guy, right? To make this type of decision. This is like one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen.
That's not enough for Donald Trump Jr. He says, just James Comey casually calling for my dad to be murdered. This is who the Dem media worships. Demented. And Kash Patel, as we were coming to air, the new FBI director, one of Comey's successors, is saying that he is in touch with the Secret Service and they are going to be sending Secret Service agents to talk to James Comey about what exactly he was getting at. Patel says, we are aware of the recent tweet by former FBI Director James Comey directed at President Trump. We are in communication with the Secret Service and Director Curran. Primary jurisdiction is with the Secret Service on these matters, and we, the FBI, will provide all necessary support. This is, of course, a president who has had 2 assassination attempts on him within the last 365 days. We were with him at an air base in Qatar this morning. He was telling the story about Butler, PA. The security footprint, especially on an international trip like this, is extraordinary. We watched the president's motorcade go by our hotel earlier. It's like seeing a fast, like a sped up video of a hour-long parade. There are so many cars, there are so many threats that exist against the President of the United States, coming from international actors, rogue actors. We did not think that we were going to see a former FBI director from here in Abu Dhabi suggesting something like this, but most White House officials at 3 a.m. here in Abu Dhabi appear to be asleep due to, unless they're just ignoring my text messages for some other reason. So we would expect a ton of reaction to this around sun up in 2 or 3 hours.
Well, Peter, this is the same man, James Comey, who implicitly, explicitly said that Donald Trump and his tactics are threats to democracy, threats to the future stability of America, threats to our norms. So are we to believe that the interesting shell formation is just another, that's a norm? Is that what we're supposed to say is normal now?
But Laura, yes, all true. Are we supposed to believe that James Comey, one of the world's most famous investigators ever, was just walking on a beach somewhere and he came across shells? There was nobody helped the shells get into this shape to say 86, 47?
No. No one
I don't
believes
know.
that.
I go to the beach all the time. You know what happens after somebody lays out shells like that? 1 minute later, they get washed away.
It's,
I don't know.
You're
We'll find
in
out.
a,
It sounds
you're
like
in
the
a-
Secret Service is about to find out.
As if there wasn't enough news this week in the Middle East. Now this back at home. Peter, get some rest. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, again, if it was some random person and he came across it randomly, then, again, to me, it's just like a really dumb thing because he admitted that I knew it was political. So if you knew it was political and you didn't know what it actually meant, why post it as the former FBI director? It doesn't make sense. It's just a really dumb thing, right? Like, I'm flabbergasted right now. I don't understand how a former FBI director is this dumb, right? How like, obviously, I mean, it's a message, right? Like, he knew it was a political message. He posted it anyways and said, well, I didn't know what it was, but I thought it was political. Okay, if I was a former FBI director, I'm not going to post random political messages if I don't know what they are, right? Like this type of stuff. I'm not gonna do that. It just sounds really dumb. So I just think that, again, this guy is either not very smart, right? Or, again, he's so Trump deranged that he thought that he could get away with this, right? He thought he could put out this message and get away with it and people would pick up on, what he's calling for here, which, who knows, right? I mean, that's up to the Secret Service to determine. All I know is that if this dude was a regular guy, okay, if he was me or you, he'd be in handcuffs, right? He'd be in handcuffs. He'd be in jail, right? That's exactly what will happen. Yeah, so you got a lot of people on X speaking out about this, including Trump Jr., who has interpreted this as a call for his father to be murdered, right? This is basically who the Democrat media worships, he says. Demented. Again, I got a lot of questions, right, about how does an FBI director put something out here like this and not know what it is. But I actually think they do know, right? And I'm going to tell you why I think they know, and I'm going to tell you in a minute. But you have Kristi Noem, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. She says, disgraced former FBI director James Comey just called for the assassination of President Trump. DHS and Secret Service is investigating this threat and will respond appropriately. Now, here's what I find to be fascinating about this, right? You have this picture of Gretchen Whitmer from 2020, okay, in which she has 8645 in the background, right? Sitting right here, okay? In the background, right here, okay? Again, it just so happens that it's in the background where it could kind of clearly be seen on television, right? It's not out there in front of your face, but, people can kind of see it. Now, again, President Trump is the 45th president, right? He was the 45th president. He's the 47th president. What do you think this means? Okay, this was when Trump was in office in October of 2020, before the election. Clearly, this is a political protest. Clearly, this is a subliminal message, right? It's a form of protest against the president, right? Now, I guess you can interpret this as a call to remove the president, but also, again, there's the slang, right? The mob talk of 86 meaning also to assassinate, right? Or to kill. But clearly this obviously is something that Democrats do, leftists do, as a sneaky way of kind of sending that message, right? Because there's no other reason why that would be in the background. There's no other reason. She's a sitting governor. Why? Right? Why else? So again, that's what we have here, right? That's what we have here. So to believe that James Comey didn't know, he definitely knew. He just didn't think he would get this much backlash because, again, Democrats have been doing this for a while now, right? It's a sneaky way of them saying, wink, wink, remove the president, right? This is what they're doing. Look at this, right? This is a picture from a protest, okay, of leftists. Americans against oligarchy. This page right here. Liz Cheney / Adam Kinzinger against Trump. What does 8647 mean? Answer. The number 8647 has gained significance as a form of political protest in opposition to President Donald Trump. It combines two numbers with specific meanings. 86 is commonly used to mean get rid of or remove something. 47 refers to Trump being the 47th president in his second term. Therefore, 8647 is used to express a desire to remove Trump from the presidency. This number has become popular on social media platforms like TikTok as a silent form of protest, allowing users to signal their opposition to Trump without explicitly stating it, aka allowing them to basically put out threats of violence against the president, right? Without explicitly stating it, right? Without getting kicked off the platform. That's what it is, okay? That's what it is. It's important to note that the use of 8647 doesn't necessarily endorse a specific candidate or a method of removal. Rather, it serves as a general expression of dissatisfaction with Trump's presidency. So, you know, they sell merchandise, right? This is anti-Trump merchandise being sold. So they got phone cases that got this up here too, right? So again, you know, if you really believe that James Comey didn't know, he definitely knew. He admitted, well, I knew it was political. I didn't know it meant to kill though, but I knew it was political. So at the very least, right? I mean, like if you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, okay, he was calling to have the president removed. Okay, maybe you can say, oh, well, he wants the president impeached, right? Maybe you can say that. But considering how he was a former FBI director, he should be smart enough to know, or he should be aware that that also could mean a call to violence as well, too. But again, there's no doubt in my mind, it definitely was at the very least, okay, a form of political protest, him expressing his opposition to the president. So again, the question is that he know that it also could be interpreted as a threat of violence. As a former FBI director, I think that it is reasonable, it's plausible to believe that, yeah, he did. But he didn't think he would get this much backlash. So then he's getting this much backlash. He's basically facing FBI investigation, okay? He might be arrested. Now all of a sudden he wants to pull back and say, well, I didn't know, right? But again, you said you knew it was political. You thought it was political. And the fact that he posted it means he definitely was trying to send a message, okay? And like I try to tell you guys all the time about these leftists, man, I try to tell you guys all the time, these people are some of the most violent people in this country. They really believe in violence. They believe in violence in order to achieve their political agenda, okay? We've seen more domestic terrorism from leftists in the last 4 to 5 years that I've ever seen in my lifetime, okay? And it's basically 99.999% been from the left. And it's not disputable. Like, that's not disputable, okay? We can all see it with our own 2 eyes, right? So again, I'm not surprised because this is how these people roll, right? This is how these anti-Trump people roll. This is how they roll. And yes, I know that at one point, James Comey was a former Republican, okay? I understand that. But he is Trump deranged, okay? And the Lincoln Project people, the weirdos in that group, they're supposed to be Republicans as well, too. Everybody remembers the comment that Rick Wilson, the creator of the Lincoln Project, made on MSNBC about Trump, right? Talking about how the donor class needs to put a bullet in Trump, right? That's what he said. That's what he said on MSNBC. So again, like I said, you know, these anti-Trump people, again, these are some of the most violent ones, right? The anti-Trump former Republicans, right? These people whose whole lives, right, is just like screw Trump, okay? Just screw Trump. They're not even really leftists. They just hate Trump, which, you know, hey, puts them in the same bed as leftists. But I'm just saying, yeah, we've seen this before, right? We've seen this from these anti-Trump people. Again, like I said, this guy is either the dumbest former FBI director in history, okay, or he's one of the most Trump deranged individuals. Probably both, right? Absolutely. Probably a case of both here. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I personally believe that the Secret Service should definitely be talking to him. And hey, if they end up arresting him for communicating threats of violence, basically threatening to assassinate or to call for the assassination or the killing of the president, then hey, it is what it is. Because he should have known better as a former FBI director. He should have known better. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.